Jayo Radha Madhava Jayo Kunja Vihari Jayo Radha Madhava Jayo Kunja Vihari
अष्टोत्तर शत शिष्य माता भाई चरणारविंद भक्तिवेदांत स्वामी श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। इस्कॉन फाउंडर आचार्य श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। जय विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राजक आचार्य श्री श्रीमद् भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती ठाकुर महाराज श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। जय विष्णुपाद शिव गौर किशोर दास बाबूजी महाराज की जय। जय विष्णुपाद शिव सच्चिदानंद भक्ति विनोद ठाकुर की जय। जय विष्णुपाद वैष्णव सर्वभौम शिव जगन्नाथ दास बाबूजी महाराज की जय। जय श्री रूप सनातन भट्ट रघुनाथ जीव गोपाल भट्ट दास रघुनाथ सद गोस्वामी प्रभु की जय। नमाचार्य श्री हरिदास ठाकुर की जय। प्रेम से गाहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासदि गौर भक्तवृंद की जय। श्री गुरु परंपरा की जय। श्री ग्रंथकार श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय। निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि बोल। All glories to assembly devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories to all the devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories to all the devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories to Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga. Jai Shri Guru Shri Gauranga, Jai Shri Guru Shri Gauranga. Jai Shri Prabhupada ki Jai. Shri Lochandas Thakur Avirbhav Mahotsav ki Jai. Nitai Gaura Premanande, Hari Bol. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jaya Mudiraye Vedaramane Chaiva Purane Bharate Tatha Adavante cha madhye cha Hari sarvatra giyate Mokham karoti vachalam Pangum langayate girim Yat kripatamaham bande Shigurum dinatarine Paramananda madhavam Dharma projita kaitavotra paravo nirmatsaranam satam Vedyam vastru matra vastu shivadam tapatrayon moolanam Shrimad Bhagavate Mahamuni kimva praishvara Sadhyo hridya varudhyate trikitipi sushrushu vistachanat Nigamakaupataror galitam palam shukamukadamrita drava samyutam Pibata Bhagavatam rasamalayam muraho rasika bhuvi bhavuka Anartho pashamam sakshat bhakti yoga madukshaje Lokasya janato vidvam shakre sattvata samhitam Yasyam vaishramanaya krishne paramapurushe Bhaktirutpajate pumsak shokamoha vayapaha Srimad Bhagavatam puranamamalam yad vaishnavanam priyam Yasmin paramahamsame kamamalam gyanam param giyate Tatra gyana viraga bhakti sahitam nishkarimama vishkritam Tachrinvan supathan vicharana paro bhaktya vimuchen naraha Arthoyam brahmasutranam bharatartha vinirnaya Gayatri basharupa vedartha paribrimhitaha Sarva vedeti hasanam saram saram samudritam Sarva vedanta saram hi Srimad Bhagavatam ishyate Tadrasamrita triptasya nanyatra syadrati kvachit Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Hare Krishna. Today we speak about the second shloka of the first chapter of first canto Srimad Bhagavatam. Dharma prochita kaitavotra paramo nirmatsaranam satam. We need text. Maybe phone. One, two. Dharma prochita Akaitavo atra paramo nirmatsaranam satam vedyam vastavam atra vastu shivadam tapa trayonmulanam Srimad Bhagavate Mahamuni Krite Kim Va Parair Ishvaraha Sadyo Hridi Avarudhyate Atra Kritivi Shushrushubhi Tatkshanat Dharma Projita Kaitavotra Paramo Nirmatsaranam Satam. Dharma Projita Kaitavotra Paramo Nirmatsaranam Satam. Nirmatsaranam Satam. Vedyam Vastavam Atra Vastu Shivadam Tapatrayonmulanam. Tapatrayonmulanam. Vedyam Vastavam Atra Vastu Shivadam Tapatrayonmulanam. Srimad Bhagavate Mahamuni Krite Kim Va Parairishvara. Kim Va Parairishvara. Srimad Bhagavate Mahamuni Krite Kim Va Parairishvara. Sadyo Hridyavarudhyate Trakritibi Shushrushubistatkshanat. Sadyo Hridyavarudhyate Trakritibi Shushrushubistatkshanat. Trakritibi Shushrushubistatkshanat. Dharma Projita Kaitavotra Paramo Nirmatsaranam Satam. Vedyam Vastavam Atra Vastu Shivadam Tapatrayonmulanam. Srimad Bhagavate Mahamuni Krite Kim Va Parairishvara. Sadyo Hridyavarudhyate Trakritibi Shushrushubistatkshanat. Please repeat. Can repeat. Dharma Projita Kaitavotra Paramo Nirmatsaranam Satam. Vedyam Vastavam Atra Vastu Shivadam Tapatrayonmulanam. Srimad Bhagavate Mahamuni Krite Kim Va Parairishvara. Sadyo Hridyavarudhyate Trakritibi Shushrushubistatshana. Someone else? dharma projita kaitavotra paramo nirmatsaranam satam.
Vedam vastavam asra vastu shivadam tapatrayon muranam.
Vedyam vastavamatra vastu shivadam tapatrayon mulanam. Srimad Bhagavate Mahamuni Krite Kimva Parairishvara.
Sadjo hide avadu deyate trakriti
Sadyo Hridya Varujyate Trakritibi Shushrushavishtachana. The translation. Completely rejecting all religious activities which are materially motivated, this Bhagavata Purana propounds the highest truth, which is understandable by those devotees who are fully pure in heart. The highest truth is reality, distinguished from illusion, for the welfare of all. Such truth uproots the threefold miseries. This beautiful Bhagavatam, compiled by the great sage Vyasadeva in his maturity, is sufficient in itself for God realization. What is the need of any other scripture? As soon as one attentively and submissively hears the message of Bhagavatam, by this culture of knowledge, the Supreme Lord is established within his heart. यह भगवान पुराण भौतिक कारणों से प्रेरित होने वाले समाज धार्मिक कृतियों को पूर्ण रूप से बहिष्कृत करते हुए सर्वोच्च सत्य का प्रतिपादन करता है, जो पूर्ण रूप से शब्द हृदय भक्तों के लिए बोधगम्य है। यह सर्वोच्च सत्य वास्तविकता है जो पाया से पृथक होते हुए सबों के कल्याण के लिए है। ऐसा सत्य तीन प्रकार के समतापों को समूल नष्ट करने वाला है। महामुनि व्यासदेव द्वारा अपनी परिपक्वावस्था में समकलित यह सौंदर्यपूर्ण भगवत ईश्वर साक्षात्कार के लिए अपने आप में पर्याप्त है, तो फिर अन्य किसु शास्त्र की क्या आवश्यकता है। जैसे कोई जनपूर्वक तथा विनीत भाव से भगवत के संदेश सुनता है, वैसे वैसे ज्ञान के इस संस्कार अनुशीलन से उसके हृदय में परमेश्वर स्थापित हो जाते हैं। I read purport, but I have no Hindi purport, only English. Religion includes 4 primary subjects, namely pious activities, economic development, satisfaction of the senses, and finally liberation from material bondage. A religious life is a barbarous condition. Indeed, human life begins when religion begins. Eating, sleeping, feeding, and mating are the 4 principles of animal life. These are common both to animals and to human beings. But religion is the extra function of the human being. Without religion, human life is no better than animal life. Therefore, in human societies, there is some form of religion which aims at self-realization and which makes reference to man's eternal relationship with God. In the lower stages of human civilization, there is always competition to lord it over the material nature, or in other words, there is a continuous rivalry to satisfy the senses. Driven by such consciousness, man turns to religion. He thus performs pious activities or religious functions in order to gain something material. But if such material gains are obtainable in other ways, then so-called religion is neglected. This is the situation in modern civilization. Man is thriving economically, so at present he is not very interested in religion. Churches, mosques or temples are now practically vacant. Men are more interested in factories, shops and cinemas than in religious places which were erected by their forefathers. This practically proves that religion is performed for some economic gains. Economic gains are needed for sense gratification. Often when one is baffled in the pursuit of sense gratification, he takes to salvation and tries to become one with the Supreme Lord. Consequently, all these states are simply different types of sense gratification. In the Vedas, the above mentioned 4 activities are prescribed in the regulative way so that there will not be any undue competition for sense gratification. But Srimad Bhagavatam is transcendental to all these sense gratification activities. It is purely transcendental literature, which can be understood only by the pure devotees of the Lord, who are transcendental to competitive sense gratification. In the material world, there is keen competition between animal and animal, man and man, community and community, nation and nation. But the devotees of the Lord rise above such competition. They do not compete with the materialists because they are on the path back to Godhead, where life is eternal and blissful. Such transcendentalists are non-envious and pure in heart. In the material world, everyone is envious of everyone else, and therefore there is competition. But the transcendental devotees of the Lord are not only free from material envy, but are well-wishers to everyone. They strive to establish a competition-less society with God in the center. The contemporary socialist conception of a competition for the post of a dictator. The contemporary socialist competition of a competition-less society is artificial because in the socialist state there is competition for the post of dictator. From the point of view of the Vedas, or from the point of view of common human activities, sense gratification is the basis of material life. There are 3 paths mentioned in the Vedas. One involves fruitive activities to gain promotion to better planets. Another involves worshipping different demigods for promotion to the planets of the demigods. And another involves realizing the absolute truth and his impersonal feature and becoming one with him. Actually, maybe devotees forgot to make Zoom online streaming. Maybe Dharmendra, he went and
There is another classes going on
now. We're not streaming. Because Prem Padmini said we will be streaming. Okay. No problem. The impersonal aspect of the absolute truth is not the highest. Above the impersonal feature is the Paramatma feature. Above this is the personal feature of the absolute truth, or Bhagavan. Srimad Bhagavatam gives information about the absolute truth in his personal feature. It is higher than impersonalist literatures and higher than the Jnanakanda division of the Vedas. It is even higher than the Karmakanda division, and even higher than the Upasanakanda division, because it recommends the worship of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Shri Krishna. In the Karmakanda, there is competition to reach heavenly planets for better sense gratification, and there is similar competition in the Jnanakanda and the Upasanakanda. The Srimad Bhagavatam is superior to all of this because it aims at the supreme truth, which is the substance or the root of all categories. From Srimad Bhagavatam one can come to know the substance as well as the categories. Substance is the absolute truth, the Supreme Lord, and all emanations are relatively form of energy. Nothing is apart from the substance, but at the same time the energies are different from the substance. This conception is not contradictory. Srimad Bhagavatam explicitly promulgates this simultaneously one and different philosophy of the Vedanta Sutra, which begins with the Janma Dhyasya Sutra. This knowledge that the energy of the Lord is simultaneously one with and different from the Lord is an answer to the mental speculators' attempt to establish the energy as the absolute. When this knowledge is factually understood, one sees the conception of monism and dualism to be imperfect. Development of this transcendental consciousness grounded in the conception of simultaneously one and different leads one immediately to the stage of freedom from the threefold miseries. The threefold miseries are: 1. Those miseries which arise from the mind and body. 2. Those miseries inflicted by other living beings. 3. Those miseries arising from natural catastrophes over which one has no control. Srimad Bhagavatam begins with the surrender of the devotee unto the Absolute Person. The devotee is fully aware that he is one with the Absolute and at the same time in the eternal position of servant to the Absolute. In the material conception, one falsely thinks himself the Lord of all he surveys, and therefore he is always troubled by the threefold miseries of life. But as soon as one comes to know his real position as transcendental servant, he at once becomes free from all miseries. As long as the living entity is trying to master material nature, there is no possibility of his becoming servant of the Supreme. Service to the Lord is rendered in pure consciousness of one's spiritual identity. By service, one is immediately freed from material encumbrances. Over and above this, Srimad Bhagavatam is a personal commentation on the Vedanta Sutra by Sri Vyasadeva. It was written in the maturity of his spiritual life through the mercy of Narada. Sri Vyasadeva is the authorized incarnation of Narayana, the personality of Godhead. Therefore, there is no question as to his authority. He is the author of all the other Vedic literatures, yet he recommends the study of Srimad Bhagavatam above all others. In other Puranas there are different methods set forth by which one can worship the demigods. But in the Bhagavatam only the Supreme Lord is mentioned. The Supreme Lord is the total body and the demigods are the different parts of that body. Consequently, by worshipping the Supreme Lord, one does not need to worship the demigods. The Supreme Lord becomes fixed in the heart of the devotee immediately. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has recommended that Srimad Bhagavatam as a spotless Purana and distinguished it from all other Puranas. The proper method for receiving this transcendental message is to hear it submissively. Challenging attitude cannot help one realize this transcendental message. One particular word is used herein for proper guidance. This word is Shushrushu. One must be anxious to hear this transcendental message. The desire to sincerely hear is the first qualification. Less fortunate persons are not at all interested in hearing the Srimad Bhagavatam. The process is simple, but the application is difficult. Fortunate people find enough time to hear idle social and political conversations. But when invited to attend a meeting of devotees to hear Srimad Bhagavatam, they suddenly become reluctant. Sometimes professional leaders of the Bhagavatam, readers of Bhagavatam immediately plunge into the confidential topics of the pastimes of the Supreme Lord, which they seemingly interpret as sex literature. Srimad Bhagavatam is meant to be heard from the beginning. Those who are fit to assimilate this work are mentioned in this shloka. One becomes qualified to hear Srimad Bhagavatam after many pious deeds. The intelligent person with thoughtful discretion can be assured by the great sage Vyasadeva that he can realize the Supreme Personality directly by hearing Srimad Bhagavatam. Without undergoing the different stages of realization set forth in the Vedas, one can be lifted immediately to the position of Paramahamsa simply by agreeing to receive this message. Okay. Jayananda Baba, आज स्ट्रीम नहीं, ऑनलाइन स्ट्रीम नहीं. हाँ. Hare Krishna. Devotees, by the mercy of Srila Prabhupada, by the mercy of Guru Maharaj, previous acharyas, we can speak, we can listen to from Srimad Bhagavatam, second shloka. I can also a little bit speak on Hindi to explain, if my English is not so comprehensible. So today I didn't know, maybe today Mataji Prem Padmini told yesterday, as I understood, that it will be online streaming of this class. But you say no. Okay. So it was misunderstanding, maybe. So I'm very sorry. Maybe she wanted to stream her class here. Okay, but she didn't say me. And now we can start this class for the benefit of all. Okay, my blessings. So today I will speak, better to say, we will listen from one class of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati on this text. One in ISKCON book is there with some many classes of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati there about Srimad Bhagavatam, and I got from this. So Vyasadeva, in his maturity, we said that he wrote the Srimad Bhagavatam, and Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur said, the essence of all scriptures is found in Srimad Bhagavatam. Sabhi Shastron ke sar Srimad Bhagavatam mein paya jata hai. There is no need to study any other literature, he said. किसी अन्य साहित्य का अध्ययन करने की कोई आवश्यकता नहीं है. So sometimes he said that if all books will be destroyed and only Srimad Bhagavatam will be, the humanity will not lose anything. The Srimad Bhagavatam is so great. Srimad Bhagavatam is inclusive of everything. And Srimad Bhagavatam sab kuch shamil hai. And this word Shushrushubhi refers to person who are attached to service. And this Shushrushubhi shabdum vyaktiyon ke liye prayukt hote hai, जो सेवा से जुड़े होते हैं. So Bhagavad Gita में यह भी कहा गया है, तद्विधि प्रणिपातेन परिप्रश्नेन सेवया उपदिक्ष्यन्ति से ज्ञानं ज्ञानिनस्तत्वदर्शिनः, कि व्यक्ति को एक प्रामाणिक आध्यात्मिक गुरु के पास जाना चाहिए, उन्हें प्रणाम करना चाहिए, उनसे पूछताछ करनी चाहिए और उनकी सेवा करनी चाहिए. So we should approach a bona fide spiritual master, offer obeisance to him, inquire from him, and render service to him. Actually, this is essence of Bhagavad Gita. This is main thing. If you miss this thing, you miss Bhagavad Gita. So, and Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur said, यदि हम गुरु की सेवा करते हैं तो हमें सही सा या गुरु की रखवाली करने वाले के रूप में जाना जाएगा. So if we serve a horse, we known is it on Bengal, Sahisha, that is caretaker of horse, like this. If we serve dogs, यदि हम कुत्तों की सेवा करते हैं, we can be called as भंगी, तो हम भंगी या कुत्तों की देखभाल करने वाले कहलाएंगे. So we will be called as someone who is serving dogs. If we work in an iron workshop, यदि हम लोहे की कार्यशाला में काम करते हैं, तो हम लोहार कहलाएंगे. We will be called as blacksmith. And if we work with gold, we will be known as goldsmith. And if we work for Krishna, then we will be called as Bhakta. And this Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur taught. और अगर हम कृष्ण के लिए काम करते हैं तो हम एक भक्त या भक्त के रूप में जाने जाएंगे. The people in this world are busy accumulating things for their sense gratification. इस दुनिया के लोग अपनी इंद्रिया तृप्ति के लिए चीजों को इकट्ठा करने में लगे हुए हैं. And instead of considering Srimad Bhagavatam as one of these things, like for our sense gratification, we should lead our life based on the teachings of Srimad Bhagavatam. That is required. श्रीमद् भागवतम को इन चीज़ों में से के रूप में मानने के बजाय हमारी इंद्रिय संतुष्टि के लिए हमें श्रीमद् भागवतम के शिक्षाओं के आधार पर अपना जीवन व्यतीत करना चाहिए। यदि हम गर्व से दावा करते हैं कि हम शुद्ध भक्त बन गए हैं, या हम सोचते हैं कि हमने श्रीमद् भागवतम के अध्ययन समाप्त कर लिया है, तो हम निश्चित रूप से नष्ट हो जाएंगे। If we proudly think that we have become pure devotees, we already studied Srimad Bhagavatam, why should we go listen? And they said, we will be ruined. Bhaktivedanta Saraswati Thakur said. And it's not easy to understand the actual purport of Srimad Bhagavatam. He said, even 1,000,000 times of life, लाखों जन्मों में भी श्रीमद् भागवतम के वास्तविक अर्थ को समझना आसान नहीं है, not easy, या बच्चों का खेल नहीं है, it's not playing of children, Bhaktivedanta Saraswati Thakur said, very boldly saying. And one has to come in contact with the Supreme Lord, one has to associate with Supreme Lord, and one has to engage in Lord's service. This required. व्यक्ति को सर्वोच्च भगवान के संपर्क में आना होगा, उसे परम सत्य के साथ जुड़ना होगा और उसे भगवान की सेवा में संलग्न होना होगा। अगर हम पापी मानसिकता बनाए रखते हैं कि मैं भोक्ता हूँ, मैं देखने वाला हूँ, मैं सुनने वाला हूँ और मैं भोक्ता हूँ, हम सीमित वस्तुओं के विचारों तक ही सीमित रहेंगे। So I should associate, but if we just thinking this sinful mentality that I'm enjoyer, I'm seeing everything, I'm hearing, I'm enjoying, we will remain just confined to these material objects which are limited. Bhagavatam is unlimited. Now think that it's only 18,000 shlokas. Bhagavatam is unlimited. Spiritual world unlimited, but these material things very limited. And सर्वोच्च भगवान को केवल भक्ति सेवा के माध्यम से प्राप्त किया जाता है. We can obtain Supreme Lord only by devotional service. भौतिक गतिविधियों को भक्तिमय सेवा मानते हैं और इस प्रकार फलदायक गतिविधियों, मानसिक आत्कलों दोनों के मिश्रण, रहस्यवादी योग और इंद्रिय तृप्ति के दायरे में रहते हैं, तो उसे कभी भी अशुभता के हाथों से मुक्ति नहीं मिलेगी. This is said, one consider material activities to be devotional service. Sometimes people say that karma is dharma. They said, and thus lives in the realm of fruitive activities. He said, mental speculation. This is mixture of both, like mystic yoga, sense gratification. So he will never get freedom from the inauspiciousness. They said, as long as we think that we can understand Srimad Bhagavatam by means our own strength, जब तक हम सोचते हैं कि हम श्रीमद् भागवतम को अपनी ताकत से समझ सकते हैं, we will not be able to even approach Srimad Bhagavatam. तब तक हम श्रीमद् भागवतम तक भी नहीं पहुंच पाएंगे. शैक्षिक योग्यता, व्याकरण का ज्ञान, so no material knowledge, scholarship, academic qualification और विभिन्न भाषाओं की निपुणता श्रीमद् भागवतम का अध्ययन करने के लिए मानदंड नहीं है. So it's not criteria to understand Srimad Bhagavatam for studying the mastery of various languages. Like now, speaking English, Hindi, different. Actually, no language is sufficient for this Brahma Gyan. No language, we cannot explain this. And one has to hear Srimad Bhagavatam from those who serve the Supreme Lord 24 hours in a day. व्यक्ति को श्रीमद् भागवतम उन लोगों से सुनना चाहिए जो दिन में 24 घंटे सर्वोच्च भगवान की सेवा करते हैं. And in Chaitanya Charitamrita he said, Jaha Bhagavata Pada Vaishnavera Sthane Ekanta Asraya Karo Chaitanya Charane. They said that one should go and study Srimad Bhagavatam from a Vaishnava. व्यक्ति को एक वैष्णव के पास जाकर श्रीमद् भागवतम का अध्ययन करना चाहिए. And we have to learn from the Vaishnava what is Srimad Bhagavatam, what is purport of Srimad Bhagavatam, what is not the intention of Srimad Bhagavatam. We have to learn this. हमें वैष्णवों से सीखना होगा कि श्रीमद् भागवतम क्या है, श्रीमद् भागवतम क्या तात्पर्य क्या है, और श्रीमद् भागवतम का उद्देश्य क्या नहीं है. And whose favorite literature is Srimad Bhagavatam? Srimad Bhagavatam kiska priya sahitya hai? Is it your favorite literature? This question. And in my childhood, my young age, I was reading novels, many novels, not Srimad Bhagavatam. And when I was studying in the Literature Institute in Moscow, we were reading mostly all fiction literature in the world. But then I decided not to read more, because many questions arising but no answer. This is situation. So Srimad Bhagavatam में किस प्रकार के ज्ञान प्रस्तुत किया गया है? What kind of knowledge is presented in Srimad Bhagavatam? भक्ति सेवा की अवधारणा सकम गतिविधियों और ज्ञान के अनुशीलन से अछूती है जो श्रीमद् भागवतम में पाई जाती है या नहीं? So we can say that is it a pure conception of devotional service untouched by fruitive activities and cultivation of knowledge? We can say like this, or not? Can liberation be achieved by faithfully hearing and reciting Srimad Bhagavatam or not? These people can ask. कि श्रीमद् भागवतम को श्रद्धापूर्वक सुनने और उसका पाठ करने से मुक्ति प्राप्त हो सकती है या नहीं? This question many they will ask. And इन प्रश्नों का उत्तर श्रीमद् भागवतम के अंत में एक श्लोक में मिलता है. श्रीमद् भागवतम पुराणममलं यद् वैष्णवानां प्रियं यस्मिन् परमहंसमेकममलं ज्ञानं परं गीयते तत्र ज्ञानविरागभक्तिसहितं निष्कर्म्यमाविष्कृतं तच्छृण्वन् सुपथान् विचरणपरो भक्त्याविमुच्यते नरः. This is Bhagavatam 12 Canto 13 verse 12 Canto 13 chapter 18 verse. Srimad Bhagavatam. Here it is said, reading before a class, Srimad Bhagavatam is a spotless Purana. It is most dear to the Vaishnavas because it describes the pure and supreme knowledge of the Paramahamsas. This Bhagavatam reveals the means for becoming free from all material work, together with the processes of transcendental knowledge, renunciation and devotion. Anyone who seriously tries to understand Srimad Bhagavatam, who properly hears and chants it with devotion, becomes completely liberated. शुद्ध भक्ति सेवा के बिना परम मुक्ति प्राप्त नहीं होती है. इसलिए श्लोक में भक्ति शब्द का प्रयोग किया गया है. ultimate liberation is not attained without pure devotional service. You cannot say. Krishna. Yes, without. Why I said like this? No. I missed one text. Oh, Bhaktivinoda Saraswati. Okay. We can say that here it is said the word bhaktya. Bhaktya, that been like here we can say paro bhaktya vimuchen naraha. Krishna said to Arjuna, you should approach a spiritual master. इसलिए श्लोक में भक्त्या शब्द का प्रयोग किया गया है. कृष्ण ने अर्जुन से कहा कि व्यक्ति को आध्यात्मिक गुरु के पास जाना चाहिए, उन्हें प्रणाम करना चाहिए, विनम्रता पूर्वक उनसे पूछताछ करनी चाहिए और उनकी सेवा करनी चाहिए. उसी तरह हमें श्रीमद् भागवतम को सेवा भाव से सुनना होगा. तभी श्रीमद् भागवतम व्यक्तिगत रूप से एक भक्त की जीव और होठों पर प्रकट होगा. So when we approach spiritual master, we inquire him, render service to him. In the same way, one has here Srimad Bhagavatam with this service attitude. Only then will Srimad Bhagavatam personally manifest on the tongue and lips of a devotee. Srila Guru Govinda Swami, he was staying in a temple where his birthplace, in Gadagiri, in Orissa. Srila Guru Govinda Swami, he was sometimes coming to give class, and in some temples they give only 45 minutes to speak Srimad Bhagavatam. When he started, he chanted Radha Madhava, Jai Radha Madhava. Then everyone was repeating shloka. Then he reading commentary. Then he started glorifying Srimad Bhagavatam. He was glorifying Srimad Bhagavatam 1.5 hours. Then he said, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, and everyone was astonished. Why? We should take prasad. No. And again, 1.5 hour class. Before Srimad Bhagavatam, yes, this is good tradition to glorify Bhagavatam. Because actually without mercy of Bhagavatam, you cannot understand this. A very high topic, very sublime. And they've already said, Atakshi Krishna Namadi Nabhavet Grahyam Indriyaye Sevanmukhe Jigvadav Swayame Vaspuratyadaha. No one can understand the transcendental nature of the name, form, quality and pastimes of Shri Krishna through his materially contaminated senses. Only when one becomes spiritually saturated by transcendental service to the Lord are the transcendental name, form, quality and pastimes of the Lord revealed to him. भौतिक रूप से दूषित इंद्रियों के माध्यम से कोई भी श्री कृष्ण के नाम, रूप, गुण और लीलाओं की पारलौकिक प्रकृति को नहीं समझ सकते हैं. केवल जब कोई भगवान के लिए पारलौकिक सेवा से आध्यात्मिक रूप से संतृप्त हो जाते हैं, भगवान के पारलौकिक नाम, रूप, गुण और लीलाओं ने उन्हें प्रकट किया. पूर्ण पुरुषोत्तम भगवान स्वयं प्रकाश परम सत्य को किसी भी और हर किसी को अनुभव नहीं होगा. So no one can understand this Bhagavan, absolute truth, who can reveal himself only without the mercy. And the commentators of Vedanta Sutra said that the unlimitedly auspicious Supreme Lord cannot be known by an ordinary living entity. Vedanta Sutra के भाष्यकारों ने कहा है कि असीमित रूप से शुभ परम भगवान को एक साधारण जीव द्वारा नहीं जाने जा सकते हैं, लेकिन वह अपने भक्तों या उनके द्वारा जाने जाते हैं जो प्रेम और भक्ति के साथ उनकी सेवा करते हैं. But he is known by his devotees, by those who serve him with love and devotion. And the Supreme Lord is not a product of material goodness and passion. Bhaktivinoda Saraswati Thakur said. परम भगवान भौतिक अच्छाई या जुनून का उत्पाद नहीं है. He is fully transcendental to the material modes of the nature. वह प्रकृति के भौतिक गुणों से पूर्णता परे है. इसलिए शास्त्र ने उन्हें निर्गुण कहकर संबोधित किया है. Therefore the Shastra called him Nirguna. Nirguna. But Nirguna doesn't mean he only beyond these guns of nature. But this indicates he possesses unlimited spiritual qualities. So rich of spiritual qualities, so beautiful, this Bhagavan. This निर्गुण का अर्थ केवल यह नहीं है कि वे भौतिक प्रकृति के 3 गुणों से परे है, क्योंकि यह इंगित करते हैं कि वे अविष्ट है, असीमित आध्यात्मिक गुण. परम भगवान अधोक्षज है, अधोक्षज, जिसका अर्थ है कि उनकी गतिविधियां भौतिक समय कारक के नियंत्रण में नहीं है, कि प्रकृति अधोक्षज प्रत्यक्ष बोध और तत्काल बोध की पहुंच से परे है. So we can say that Adhokshaja is beyond our sense perception. Adha Akshaja, who is born beyond the senses. So this is nature of Adhokshaja. Not beyond direct perception, beyond indirect perception, beyond immediate perception. This Bhaktivinoda Saraswati is saying very high philosophy. And according to the dictionary, the word Hari also means dog or lion. Hari means lion or thief, chor. शब्दकोश के अनुसार हरि शब्द का अर्थ दाल, शेर या चोर भी होता है. And the phrase Nirguna Hari does not refer to a lion. Nirgun Hari के पार शेर के लिए नहीं है. It is proper and reasonable to refer to incarnation like the Rishimha and Matsya as Hari. By addressing this incarnation as Hari, one's contamination born of sensual desire will be vanquished. नरसिंह और मत्स्य जैसे अवतारों को हरि कहना उचित और युक्ति युक्त है. इन अवतारों को हरि कहकर संबोधित करने से काम वासना से उत्पन्न कल्मश नष्ट हो जाएगा. The ultimate goal of living entities is love of God. Bhaktivinoda Saraswati Thakur said. सभी जीवों का अंतिम लक्ष्य ईश्वर के प्रति प्रेम है. The narrow conception put toward by the followers of the path of karma and jnana, who are busy with material enjoyment and liberation, respectively, are not the ultimate goal of life. So this is karma और ज्ञान के मार्ग के अनुयायियों द्वारा प्रतिपादित संकीर्ण धारणा जो क्रमशः भौतिक भोग और मुक्ति में व्यस्त है. जीवन का अंतिम लक्ष्य नहीं है. जीवन का अंतिम लक्ष्य तथ्यात्मक है या अस्थायी, काल्पनिक या भ्रामक नहीं है. So the ultimate goal of life is factual, is not temporary, imaginary or illusory. इस भौतिक संसार में पुरुषों और महिलाओं या माता पिता और बच्चों के बीच प्रेम संबंधों को प्रेम नहीं कहा जा सकती है. परम सत्य से प्रेम करना और उसे प्रसन्न करना जो सभी दिव्य रसों का अवतार है, वही है प्रेम का वास्तविक अर्थ इसलिए या कहा जाता है तच्छ्रावण सु पठान विचरण परो बख्यो मुझे न रहा तच्छ्रवान सु पठान. Very important things. Not love affairs between men and women or parents and children in this material world. You cannot say this is prema, because sometimes in Telugu language prema means love, but not, this is not prema. It's actually is kama. Prema only applied to spiritual. To love and please the absolute truth with the personification of the transcendental mellows is the actual meaning of prema. And that is why it is said, anyone who seriously tries to understand Srimad Bhagavatam, this is a very important thing, who seriously tries to understand Srimad Bhagavatam, who properly hears and chants it with devotion, becomes completely liberated. Many people, they want to become liberated in India, don't know this very easy process. This is a very easy process. जो कोई भी गंभीरता से श्रीमद् भागवतम को समझने की कोशिश करते हैं, जो इसे ठीक से सुनते हैं और भक्ति के साथ इसका जाप करते हैं, वह पूरी तरह से मुक्त हो जाते हैं. Sorry, my Hindi not perfect. I can speak English. Okay. One should discuss Vedic literature as being subordinate to Srimad Bhagavatam. So, whatever one studies, be it literature such as if Kena Upanishad, Katha Upanishad, Samhitas, Kalpas, grammar, astrology, and any other field of knowledge, he said, if he keeps the Supreme Lord in the center, then all his knowledge will become transcendental. Otherwise it will be mundane. Bhaktivedanta Saraswati Thakur very strongly said. And even we speak Bhagavatam. Therefore he said, Yasmin paramaham simek mamalam jnanam param giyate. Srimad Bhagavatam is not understood by a human being's mundane flow of thoughts. Mundane flow of thoughts, like when someone is just thinking, it's like flow, many thoughts coming. It consists of only pure transcendental knowledge. It is not found in other literature. Pure devotional service does not depend upon the cultivation of knowledge or renunciation. That is another important thing. Some people, they studying, going to Varanasi, Kashi, studying Sanskrit, very intelligent one, or they going to Himalayas, practice yoga like this. Ramdev Baba, very famous. But actually, pure devotional service doesn't depend on this. If it is said, variegatedness were absent in devotional service, it would be a denial of the existence of spiritual variegatedness. Variegatedness, like we go to some variety store, many things are there, we can choose what we like. And we think that in spiritual world, everything is, only one thing is there. Bhagavan, not interesting, not so many things like here. No, bhakti is variegatedness. So many things is there in bhakti. And devotional service is the realization of the object of service by the most perfect devotees. Actually, devotional service only applied for most perfect devotees. Even not for me, because I'm not sadhu, I'm just repeating, I'm reading for you. To say that such and such person is a great devotee, but is attached to material enjoyment is like a saying, look, golden ball made of stone. This is golden ball but made of a stone. Is this possible? Such a thing does not exist. Or we can say golden ball made of a plastic. What of plastic? Today, now not gold, now plastic everywhere. So, that's a very important thing, to whom we should listen. Because there are many listeners. If you open YouTube channel, you will find many speakers, sorry, not listeners. Listeners very few. Many speakers. So many they are speaking Srimad Bhagavatam, Katha. And also some music is there. Some Tampura, Veena.
Then how can you decide which one is
Raga.
correct interpretation of Bhagavad Gita?
Can you decide what?
You said na there are so many speakers in YouTube.
You listen further, I will speak about this. This is a very important thing. As Bhaktivedanta Saraswati Thakur instructions. He will say, just be tolerant.
You know how to find that which interpretation is correct? Because everybody is having his...
Yes. Be tolerant.
Okay.
This is good process when first we listen, then we are asking. Because sometimes we asking before Acharya said, and we thinking that Acharya will not say. He will say, Acharya know your heart. You just surrender. So, and Bhaktivedanta Saraswati Thakur said, false recitation of Srimad Bhagavatam and the materialist recitation of Srimad Bhagavatam, completely opposite a devotee's presentation. In this regard, one should discard the verse from Srimad Bhagavatam, 11 to 42, very important verse. Bhakti pareshanu bhavo virakti ranyatra chaisa trika ekakala prapadyamanasya yatasnata syus pushti kshudapayo nu ghasam. Devotion, Hare Krishna, direct experience of the Supreme Lord, and detachment from other things, these three occur simultaneously for one who has taken shelter of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. In the same way as pleasure, nourishment, and relief from hunger come simultaneously and increasingly with each bite for a person engaged in eating. Suppose we were fasting on Ekadashi, and Ekadashi we are not taking rice, and we become a little bit weak at the end of Ekadashi. Then next day we should take prasad, and by taking prasad, our hunger is going away. That is compared with renunciation. Our material hunger is going away. Then we feeling that some pleasure, nice taste, that is considered with rasa. And at the same time, nourishment, it's giving strength to our body. And this nourishment, that means direct touch of the Supreme Lord. So one can directly see the Supreme Lord. And that is when one surrenders to Krishna. Bhagavatam is non-different than Krishna. So, Bhagavatam is so powerful, as by eating each morsel of food, one feels satisfaction, nourishment, and mitigation of hunger simultaneously. In the same way, devotional service, spiritual knowledge, renunciation appear simultaneously in a devotee. Jnana, Vairagya simultaneously appear. No need to develop Jnana and Vairagya. That is very nice. But some devotees, they say, we are doing so much seva, maybe a little bit, we should do little less seva. But that means they are not feeling so much ananda. If they are feeling so much ananda from seva, they want to do more and more. Want to listen more and more katha. Some shining is coming from the devotee, some effulgence. Therefore, other people also attracted. They see, oh, this devotee, very, very shining. If his skin is black, he is shining. That is very nice. But who is not listening Bhagavatam, if his skin is white, he is dark. You can get experience. So, one who is attached to Krishna, who is detached to objects not related to Krishna, this is coming automatically. No need to force one. Do seva, chant japa, go Bhagavatam, no need. At the same time, he does not reject anything as mundane. That's also one thing. Because it's dry renunciation when just rejecting. Until devotional service mixed with knowledge and renunciation is awakened, one will continue to engage in fruitive activities. That is rule. One can speak even, maybe speak Srimad Bhagavatam, but if not awakened in his heart, pure devotional service, he will speak either about karma, about jnana, vairagya, but not about bhakti. Somehow he will speak Bhagavatam, but actually he will speak other topics. Or he will just attract people by nice singing, playing, nice sangeet. People will attract it. And stories, leelas, actually from 10th canto is very attractive. About Krishna Leela, like Kripalu Swami, some speaker. He was many thousands people listening. But no words about how to develop bhakti. How to develop bhakti he is not saying. He is saying leelas, he is saying about, he is reciting shastra, shlokas, many shlokas. But he is not saying that we should purify our heart, how purify our heart, how to gradually develop this condition. That is required but not said. Because actually who is speaking, he should give his blood, spiritual blood, to others. Otherwise others will not develop consciousness. He should pray so that everyone who listens, he should be changed. Now. Not like everyone will get pleasure and go and take prasad. Gatha, Krishna Gatha, Bhagavatam Gatha, not for our own pleasure, but pleasure of Krishna. Even we don't like, we listen. Because maybe we'll like Krishna or not like, Krishna will like us. If we're listening. Then we will get some pleasure after this. Some peace will come. Just be tolerant. This is important thing. And serving objects not related to the Supreme Lord cannot be called devotional service. Bhaktivedanta Saraswati Thakur said. Devotion to one's country, devotions to one's teacher, he said. Devotions to any insignificant and incomplete object cannot be called devotional service. One must have pure devotion towards the object of worship, and this service is blissful. Pure knowledge and renunciation will automatically be awakened in proportion to the degree of devotional or rendered devotional service. That is, doctor is saying you, be quiet. Medicine will work. Like the story about one king. One king could not sleep at all. Srila Guru Govinda Swami was telling this story. He could not sleep at all. He was consulting with many Vaidyas, many doctors. And nothing happened. So one Kaviraj said, you go to Sadhu. This Sadhu Baba can help you. He came to this Sadhu Baba and he said, Sadhu Maharaj, I need your medicine. You can give me medicine so that I can sleep. Sadhu said, yes, I will give you medicine, but first I should give class. Just sit and listen. And then when he sat on the class, he started snoring. And everyone, devotees, they asked, why he is snoring? We should wake him. No, Sadhu said, no, medicine is working. Not wake him. Then after class, he was sleeping all day. The next day, he wake up and he said, Sadhu Baba, no, very nice medicine. He gave me this. How is this possible? Okay. So his sadhu said, so you come every day on class. So you can understand this. We should not be like this king. Bhagavatam is giving out, making us free from anarthas immediately. And because the mind of this king was absorbed in material things, this mind was very tired. So when he sat on the class, he immediately slept, because all anarthas is gone. But we should not be like this, only become free from anarthas and go. No, we should develop love for Krishna. Not only become free from anarthas, but develop love for Krishna. So, and people that aspire for religiosity, economic development, sense gratification, and liberation, they are cheaters. Bhaktivedanta Thakur said, very boldly he said. People, we know that dharma, artha, kama, moksha is very good thing, kind of civilization. Here they said dharma projita kaitava dharma. This is cheating. You understand? Try to understand. And this is very important thing. So, if one does not realize the Panchama Purushartha, what is prema is? Prema, we just say prema. Prema means give pleasure to Krishna only. Only give, Gauranga. This is prema. But if one cannot understand what is prema, so what about topic he will speak? Only about he will cheat others, giving dharma, artha, kama, and moksha. Very boldly he said. No, I'm not so strong to speak like this, he said. Bhaktivedanta Saraswati Thakur. Srimad Bhagavatam is not a textbook for such people, he said. It is meant for the pure devotees who aspire for the fifth object of life, love of God. Prema Purushartha. We hardly spend any time discussing Srimad Bhagavatam. Srimad Bhagavatam should be discussed in terms of devotional service. Otherwise we will fall into danger by discussing it as a means of our enjoyment. Sometimes it happens. As the devotees giving class and speaking about demigods, yoga, pranayama, good health. Many topics are there, very interesting. Good weather. How are you? Like family relationships. We should understand, we cannot solve all problems in this world. No need to speak about this. If we cannot solve, only Krishna can solve. But we should just please Krishna, that's all. And it is also here said, in conclusion, I wish to say that simply taking shelter at the lotus feet of a spiritual master, one is sure to obtain the supreme absolute truth, who is not obtained by great personalities such as Brahma, Varuna and Indra. Of course, we speak about many times about devotion to Krishna, but actually it's not possible, this devotion to Krishna. It's possible only by mercy, but of the Krishna's dear devotee. So actually we should take shelter at his lotus feet. Even now I'm not speaking like I am speaking. I'm speaking from such a person. I'm thinking about this person. Therefore it works. Otherwise it will not work. It will be like cheating. I will add something from myself. Some masala. So if a speaker is giving some masala, why? This is a very easy thing. Why you can understand. How many people were attending classes of Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati? Not so many. How many disciples he was giving? Thousands. But maybe 30 disciples were listening. You know the story when all disciples went to see the deity of Sheshashaya Vishnu, and Prabhupada was sitting, and maybe some few devotees like this. Because no one could understand him. No one. That is a very important thing. They not taken shelter in the lotus feet of such a devotee. But if speaker, he see, oh, so little followers I have, I should put some masala, then we will listen. Then many hundreds, then put more masala, then thousands. Then, okay, only masala is there. And this is condition we are. Therefore, Bhaktivedanta Saraswati Thakur said, now it is dry condition, this is draft. No Harikatha. He said it maybe 100 years before. And now the situation the same. Not changed. Because it's not easy to change. Not easy. Material energy is so strong. So very easy, they aspired for fifth Purushartha. Very easy. Very rarely, very rare person, they aspired for fifth Purushartha. Many they aspired for dharma, artha, kama, moksha. Therefore for them to sit in Bhagavatam, very difficult. Better to discuss, like I share, you share, we share, like this. Actually, that is good for beginnings. I also joined from Bhakti Vriksha program. I engaged in Bhakti Vriksha maybe 7 years in Russia, and I know this very, very useful. When people coming, they're not ready to listen. They want us to listen to them. But somehow we should give them this principle of bhakti, that better to listen. If you speak, you can speak so many things, but actually it will not be solved, no solution. But if you just listen, so many solutions will come. I was staying in Gadagiri temple in Orissa, and there is very small village and very big temple. And every day, 8 o'clock, we have breakfast, prasadam, and then 10 o'clock to 1 a.m. we have Bhagavatam class every day. And if I was having some problems, and devotees asking me some things, I didn't answer before attending class. After class, I was getting all answers. Even I was asking many devotees, they got the same thing. They coming on class, and on the class they were getting all answers. How this possible? We can't understand. Bhagavan is antaryami. He is in our heart. Now he's speaking, if he surrender, he also speak what is in our heart. Therefore, no need to force speaker. Please answer my question. Answer my question. No need to force. Just you just surrender and you be quiet. And he said, Bhaktivedanta Saraswati Thakur said, the absolute truth is the object of all types of service. He is served by the 5 primary rasas and the 7 secondary rasas. Anyone who serves the Supreme Lord is fit to be called a spiritual master. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya evacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha, he said. Then he said very important thing. If one discuss the 11th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, one will know that one's situation under the mode of goodness can be destroyed with the help of mode passion. And the influence of mode passion can be eliminated only with the help of the mode of goodness. This is in Uddhava Gita. Uddhava Gita is a further explanation of Bhagavad Gita given to Arjuna. Uddhava Gita spoken to Uddhava. It is more detailed. It is only with the help of the mode of pure goodness that one can transcend the influence of mixed passion and goodness. Then we should understand what is the definition of mode of passion. Why we should ask? Because now we're sitting here, but some desire is there in disturbing us. Or maybe some time will come and we will take prasad. So therefore we should speak. What is mode of passion? Now you be quiet because doctor is making operation. Sadhu Vaidya. He has very sharp knife. But you be quiet, you will be safe. A person under the influence of the mode of passion thinks what he thinks. What the thought is disturbing us. I am great. I am expert. Bhaktivinoda Thakur said, I am a member of the Red Cross Society. My duty is to help suffering humanity by supplying them flood relief. In so many ways I am helping people, and so society should reimburse me by supplying enough compensation for my material enjoyment. So people are thinking like this. So I am doing so many seva. Why I should sit here and listen to him? I am so important person. I now should do seva. I have no time for class because I am very important person. No one can do seva instead of me. It's like this. Also in some temples, it is there. When while they listen in class, they cutting vegetables, or they sewing, or many things they doing. They're not listening attentively. When Srila Guru Govinda Swami was coming in such temples, he was not giving long class, giving short 30 minutes class and finished, because he understood that they are not surrender. Because they are not free from passion. And this question about management only. And then he said, we have to stop such a propensity with the help of the mode of goodness. The mode of goodness can help us. It likes a hammer of mood of goodness. Very hard. Sometimes no one can tolerate. As one devotee, he wanted to make ashram outside city, and he found the land maybe 100 kilometers out of the city. And his spiritual master said to him, no more than 40 kilometers, because brahmachari will die because of this hammer of mode of goodness. They need to go to this. No one is ready. So he chose in the mode of passion, say it is only because of devotional service to Lord Vishnu that the whole country has been ruined. They are certainly rushing towards the mode of ignorance, he said. Why we are now rushing? Because traffic, we should finish Bhagavatam and go. Because this mode of passion is needed, required for our country. Yes, our India cannot be developed without mood of passion. We should this so much mood of goodness in this temple. It's not needed for India. For India needed mode of passion. We need nuclear. We need nuclears, not need this natural. Nuclear bomb we need. Yes, this is mood of passion, and this mood of passion leads us to mood of goodness. Then India from mood of passion going to mood of goodness. Oh, sorry, I did mistake. Ignorance, yes, ignorance. You attentively listen. So, India going from mood of passion to mood of ignorance. And then what is happening? Someone is coming from the Russia, speaking here. Because in Russia only mood of ignorance. We coming here to associate with you. You bless me. So such people do not acknowledge the favor rendered by Srimad Bhagavatam, he said. And he said, have you discussed the contents of Srimad Bhagavatam in your life? Have you carefully considered the all-pervasiveness and power of Lord Krishna, of Rama, the son of Rohini? Rama is son Dasharatha, or Parashurama, Vamanadeva, Nrisimhadeva, or the Supreme Brahman, Paramatma. Srimad Bhagavatam has completely removed the disease of impersonalism by establishing the philosophy of personalism. And he said, that time, he said, that mat or temple or mandir, we can say Iskon Mandir, is a transcendental hospital where all kinds of medicine for material diseases are available. Sri Chaitanya and his followers are liberally distributing this medicine, but the people of this country are so unfortunate that they are trying their best to uproot the principles of Srimad Bhagavatam and banish them forever. People are trying to find fault with the Srimad Bhagavatam, and they are encouraging the propensity for fruitive activities rather than the natural propensity for rendering devotional service. It is said 100 years ago, now the same situation, more complicated. Therefore in Srimad Bhagavatam 11, 19, 18 said, Karmanam parinamitva davirincha damangalam yapaschinashwaram pashyed adrishtam apidrishtavat. An intelligent person should see that any material activity is subject to constant transformation, and that even on the planet of Lord Brahma there is thus simply unhappiness. Indeed, a wise man can understand that just as all that he has seen is temporary, similarly all things within the universe have a beginning and an end. Beginning and an end. But this class has no end. So therefore no prasad today. And one sloka only. As soon as we forget to discard this verse, the desire for enjoying the fruit of our karma becomes stronger. In another place of Srimad Bhagavatam, 4:24-39, it is said, Yat pada pankaja pala shivilasa bhaktya karma shayam gratitamud gratayanti santa tadvannarikta matayo yatayo piruddha shroto ganastamaranam bhajavasudevam. Bhajavasudevam. The devotees who are always engaged in the service of the toys of the lotus feet of the Lord can very easily overcome hard-knotted desires for fruitive activities, because this is very difficult. The non-devotees, the jnanis and yogis, although trying to stop the waves of sense gratification, cannot do so. Therefore you are advised to engage in the devotional service of Krishna, the son of Vasudeva. So everyone is familiar with the pastimes of Lord Vasudeva. Lord Vasudeva is fully transcendental, for his existence is pure goodness. He was not born on the mode of passion like others. He is not destroyed by the mode of ignorance. So one should worship the transcendental absolute truth. He said, very nice, he said, Aruna means he who is the shelter of all. And also, he is Almighty Lord. And the word Riktamad refers to those who worship Lord Vasudeva without thinking him to be impersonal. And this very many things is here also. I cannot conclude. This is my problem. So now we can stop here. I mean, yes, this is our unfortunate destiny. We cannot speak Srimad Bhagavatam hours and hours. So that is conclusion here, that Srimad Bhagavatam is great treasure. People concept of religion is little more than altruism or doing good to others. They want to live in this world by posing themselves as philanthropists, while being driven by the mode of passion and ignorance. And the people, they thinking out of mood of passion, they thinking that they need to give some food to others only, some blankets in the winter cold time. But they don't know. If they only become transcendental by listening to Srimad Bhagavatam, they can understand what is the meaning to give good to others. What is the real ahimsa? They can understand. We have such a hope. Therefore it is stated, Srimad Bhagavatam, dharma projita Akaitavotra paramo nirmatsaranam satam. Nirmatsaranam, who is non-envious, very simple person, he can understand. Vedyam vastam atravastu shivadam, satyam shivam sundaram. This is great benefit for everyone. Bhagavan Krishna, who is making us free from three tapas, tapatrayan mulanam. That is our only hope, Bhagavatam. Hare Krishna, Granth Raj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Guru Maharaj ki jai, Nitai Gaura Premanande, Hare Bol. Maybe questions, some questions, and if you're not so much hungry, maybe if you're hungry, okay, for spiritually hungry, you can eat holy name. You can eat Bhagavatam. That is also good for stomach, spiritual stomach. Okay, maybe some questions. You got answer? Okay. Okay, you understood what I'm saying? Arthamayana.
In terms of Prabhu, I will ask question. In terms of not doubt, but in terms of studying Srimad Bhagavatam. In terms of studying Srimad Bhagavatam, one is that we are hearing Bhagavatam daily. Other is like we want to study deeply. So like I could cover Bhagavatam once. That I could cover in stretch. Like I had some free time, so in 2 months I could cover for that. But in terms of, but just one time studying is hardly enough. Forget also many times. So from my understanding, at least if we study 4 or 5 times, we could conclude. But the thing is that sometimes the book is because they are 18 volumes. So how do you? I'm asking like would plan to like so that we could keep systematically studying. So my goal is that to cover many times, read it again and again from first to last, so that I could hold of some understanding it goes.
This is a strong covering of mood of goodness. It's our big problem. And actually, Acharya said, Bhaktivedanta Saraswati Thakur said, who is eligible to speak Bhagavatam? Not one who has studied so much, no one who has read so much Shastras, only one who has listened pure devotee. If one has listened with pure heart, he can speak. No need to know so much. But if you want to know, if you have such ability, you have such courses like Bhakti Vaibhava, like Bhakti Vedanta, Bhakti Sarvabhauma, Bhakti Shastri in ISKCON. They can help you to study. But actually, maybe to get Bhakti from this course, not always possible. Because Bhakti, you should listen pure devotee, directly. Better listen physically. In his presence and ask questions if you have doubts. Then you can become mature. Then you can speak. You can, but just by studying, you cannot understand. Even Vyasadeva cannot understand. It is said, Shivaji said it, that maybe Vyasadeva sometimes understands, sometimes not. Shukadeva doesn't understand Bhagavatam. But I am a little bit understanding. See what he said? Very difficult. And one thing is required, pray to Krishna. Pray to Guru and Krishna always. Before studying, before listening. So then you can get something very important. Okay. Hare Krishna. Jai Ananta Kuti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai. Pancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Patitanam Pavanabhyo Vaishnava